Hello people, welcome to a stream. As the name of this stream states, we're going to discuss, while playing a little bit of Elite Dangerous, the offline mode no more issue. Those who don't know, on the forums I'm Commander Rob Graham, just, fairly obvious, it's my name. And I've been vocal on the issue, I'll admit. I've stated rather clearly that I believe the way that Frontier handled the release of the news was less than ideal, and that's putting it mildly. If anything, I think how Frontier went about releasing the news that the offline mode is gone is, well, piss poor. I'll be blunt about it. That being said, if you go back to the original Kickstarter, Frontier said they were making a online multiplayer game. They later, as part of their Kickstarter, expanded to the fact that they would be having an offline mode because they believed they could deliver it. Time's gone on, and of course, they haven't. And it turns out that they've worked out that they can't deliver that offline mode. Now, finally, after a weekend of what I'd call a PR nightmare for Frontier, David Barbarian himself has come out and answered some questions. I think he hedged bet a little bit on the ones that he chose to answer, and at the same time, he's a brave man for doing so. Needless to say that the blunt of the issue is that these three modes here, open, private and solo, are all you are going to get in the game, unless they add the I mode. You are not going to get an offline mode. Does not matter how much you cry, jump up and down, scream, etc, etc, it's not happening. While I can understand, trust me, I can understand, I live in the middle of the outback, why this is annoying to a lot of people. I do not and will not stand by those who try and claim that David and Frontier are committing fraud. While anybody on the forums will notice that I have made the comment that they may have opened themselves up to lawsuits, just because I made those comments does not believe that I myself believe they have. Kickstarter in and of itself is a risky proposition. There's nothing in Kickstarter that actually states the person doing the Kickstarter has to deliver you anything. I could probably hear some people there going, what the? But it's the truth. When you back a Kickstarter, you back on the off chance that the person doing the Kickstarter is actually going to deliver on what they say they're delivering. Kickstarter themselves offer you no backers protection. It's not like PayPal or the like. The website itself for Frontier has, to my knowledge, and I mean, I sit on Frontier's website a fair bit because I'm unwell and I can. So I follow the forums and everything like that a fairly lot. But Frontier, while yes, they did say single player would be in the game, if you actually go down on here to the game section, and I understand that there will be a little bit of lag at the moment on my stream and on this. I am streaming, my wife's playing an online game, and I'm downloading all at the same time. Deal. You will notice that down under computer requirements, internet connection is listed, and while some people claim it's only been added recently, hate to tell you, no, it's been there for as long as this page on the website's been there. So, you kind of require a online connection to play the game. They're being upfront on the store about that. Now, originally, yes, the blurb on the store page did say an offline mode would be coming. So, on that grounds, you know, on the pre-order grounds and the like, yes, they have a problem, and really they should be looking at how they can refund it. There are people screaming over the fact that they're not getting refunds and the like. Look, most I can say there is that you have, in most countries, legal recourses you can take, and you need to leave it there. You need to either go and do that, or you need to simply not. One or the other. Either do it or don't, but really just continuing to scream about it isn't going to fix the problem, and it's not going to change Frontier's mind. David, as people will know, got up on the forums today and answered a bunch of questions. The general gist of his conversation went like this. Or that he announced shortly after we reached the conclusion that it wasn't possible to create an offline mode without unacceptably compromising the game. Okay, so there he admits it. He also admitted that Frontier should have told the Elite community that it was struggling with an offline version of the game during the process. His own words. We have developed the game and released the alpha and beta versions. The work needed to deliver a rich online nature of the game diverged from the requirement of a fully offline game, he said. In retrospect, we should have shared the fact that we were struggling with this aspect with the community, but we were still trying to find a solution. As features were implemented for the best reasons, we chose to prioritise delivery of the online single and multiplayer experiences with a view to providing offline versions later in development. We had to make a decision for the good of the game, and that is what we did. We have developed a multiplayer game with an unfolding story involving the players and groups collaborating with specific objectives and taking account of all players' behaviours. This is what the game is about. Without this, it would not be the rich gaming experience that we will deliver, and would be a great disappointment to all players. An offline experience would be fundamentally empty. We could write a separate mission system to allow a limited series of fixed missions, but it would still not be a compelling game, and is only the first step in the mountain of work required. We do plan to take regular archives of the games and the servers to preserve the game for the future. The decision, Barbarian said, was fundamentally a creative one. So, the big one people are going, well, I don't have internet. How am I going to play? To be blunt, you're not. If you do not have a internet connection, you're not going to play. Which means, you know, there are some people I know who are going to be peeved. If you live in Australia, like some people I know, well, rather the majority of the people I know live, you know that our internet can be shit. I am going to be blunt about it. Australian internet can be shit. If that actually troubles you, then I'm sorry. You can go literally 5 minutes out of this town that I live in, and you will have no mobile phone coverage and no internet coverage. So while it's fine that David states that you can play it on a train using internet tethering, the fact is that there are some people who will not be able to. It looks like this game is no longer for you. Sad, but true. On digital rights management, I'm not going to get into that argument. I've gotten into it a little bit on the forums trying to correct people on what they claim DRM is and what they claim it isn't. Needless to say, when you get down to it, just the fact that we are required to connect to their servers is DRM. Sorry to Frontier or anybody else who claims that it's not, but always on is DRM. An always on connection DRM does not bother me. To me, it's kind of, well, duh, I kind of expected it, so it's not an issue to me personally. That being said, there are people who it is. They have the right to be annoyed at such. They have the right to have the mindset that such is what happens, and basically for the most part refuse to play the game anymore. Beyond that, I don't see how anybody can actually claim that they were overly misled. The moment Frontier felt 100% certain that they couldn't deliver what they said they could, they let us know. David himself has come out and said that he's sorry. You know, he's admitted that maybe they should have actually told us a little bit sooner. And yeah, I don't know what else he was meant to have done. There'll be those who, no matter what happens, will say that he deserves to refund every person who's backed. There will be those that say he's an outright liar, yada 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 yada. I don't agree with you, sorry. And that's with the fact that I know I have plugged this game to friends, stating to them that it would have an offline mode. So, you know, my words being, you know, I've got friends who can now happily call me a liar. It's not got offline mode. But I'm also a developer. Okay, I develop flight sim stuff. But I code, I work my rear end off, and when I'm well enough, which is not often, and I give a product that is the labour of my love out to the community. And then I have to watch and wait and watch and wait as this labour of my love goes out, gets sold, and both the communities themselves start responding and the press start responding. Now the press are typically can be
landing gear retracted.
Fairly harsh, but they're at least typically only focusing on the product. They're honest, whereas the community tends to be anything but. They cloud a lot of judgments with emotional baggage, as I tend to call it. You know, you can be slagged off simply because you've done work for a certain developer. And it hurts. I'll openly admit it. You develop software and you have people slagging the work you've done. It comes back and it hurts you, and it does make you bitter. You get to the point where, as some people I've done work for, they try and keep me away from the general public. Why? Because I tend to be blunt, as anybody who has watched these streams know. I will tell you that I think the issue is the user. I will tell you that if the product I've coded works on 999 computers and all of a sudden it is not working on one computer, then the chances are there is something you have done to your computer
Drive charging.
that is causing the issue. So I can also fully and 100% understand David and his teams, especially Michael's response over the weekend to the hammering they have taken on the forums. Actually, I must take my hat off and basically give Michael some credit, because I would have actually told people bluntly to go F themselves. That being said, however, and yes, there is a however here, there is a but, I do believe Frontier need to learn some public relations. They're a great company. They are a company I don't want to see go under. They are making a game I love. You can just ask my wife about that if she ever comes on here at some point, and like you can ask her how many hours I sink into this game simply because it's something I can do while I am hurting. That is different from flight sim or the like. And trust me, she will let you know that it is a lot. And yet, I will sit here and state that hiding the sudden lack of an offline mode in a small, somewhat dubious paragraph of your weekly newsletter is bad public relations. Also being rather ambiguous of how much connection is required between your computer, as in this computer, and the server is a bit wrong too. Basically, I can bring up the bandwidth requirements. This will be changing again with beta 3.9, which comes out on the 20th, so the 21st for Australians, and the public release beta, public release of or Gamma or whatever people are blooming well calling it these days, but I call it Release Candidate 1, will be coming out on the 22nd. But despite that, you know, it's definitely talking to the server on and off. It's not talking a lot, you know, it's not chewing up a lot of bandwidth, and they've said that it will chew up even less bandwidth over the next couple of updates, but it's definitely using bandwidth. So you're going to need a connection open. I don't think there's a lot they can do about that in the end. Sad but true. And okay, how can we go from, we told it to display fuel jumps that we could actually make. It claims we can make this jump. Or did we actually, no, we want to jump to here. And yeah, no, but in the end, no amount of jumping up and down is going to change the fact anyway. So what else can I touch on here? On the no offline mode issue. What Frontier should have done. Okay. What they did today should have been done on Friday. No ifs, buts, whatevers. It should have been done on Friday. David himself has hit a nail on the head. he should have come to the community when it started to become clear that they were running into problems with offline mode. And sadly, a lot of the secrecy that has suddenly started up, or rather been, I'd almost say, inherent with Frontier throughout the course of the development, especially getting closer to release, really shouldn't be happening. Frontier needs to start talking with its backers, with its users. As much as people don't like Chris Roberts and the fact that he has managed to get 63 million US dollars, there is a reason Star Citizen has managed that much. And while some people will say, oh, it's because he keeps throwing pretty starships at people, it's not. Look, if Chris did not maintain the public relations that he has maintained, people would not be supporting him. Chris Roberts himself has had a similar, and Star Citizen has had a backlash like this. When they failed to meet their deadline this time last year for the dogfighting module, they copped a rather big backlash, and if you ask me, they deserved it. But at the same time, they came clean about the fact, they showed the reasons why, they talked to the community about it, they didn't clam up. And because of that, they managed to turn what could have been the biggest PR disaster in the world for them into a strength. That, at its core, is where I think Frontier have made their mistake. They forgot that they have
Request granted.
this big wealth of community that's...
Scan detected.
crap. The reason for that is we're trying to get away because we've got stolen goods on board. I think, in all honesty, had David made a video blog rather than just a newsletter, looked at people, even though it's digitally looking at people, damn it.
Landing gear deployed.
And simply being honest, up front, and everything about it, then none of this would have happened. He chose to use the newsletter, and in the end, in part, that's probably wasn't the best idea. Not a lot he can do about it. Not now. I can only hope that he and Michael have learnt their lesson. That any further bombshells will actually merit a proper response from him.
Docking successful.
One
Engines disengaged.
that involves him actually talking to us rather than flogging us off with a small entry in the letter. Beyond that, not, you know, I can't say anything else. Obviously, we're not paying the fine. We don't have the money. I need to actually get to Erin, so I need to come up to here and then we'll go to Ward. I know once we get to Ward we're getting closer to Erin. So basically we're heading home. Server's going to reset in the next couple of days, we might as well head home. Or at least to the home that the Alpha has been. And yeah.
Ship released.
So
Engines
summing it up,
engaged.
offline mode is gone. Single player, multiplayer will still exist. In other words, you can still play solo mode.
Landing gear retracted.
It's not gone, it's still here, you're still more than capable of not playing with any griefers, not having to put up with a-holes or whatever, and the like. You just won't be able to play without at least connecting at times to Frontier servers. Quite often, to be more precise. David and Michael and the rest of Frontier need to learn some public relations management, need to learn to talk to their community, and the community needs to learn some restraint.
4, 3, 2, 1.
On top of that, finally, people need to learn that DRM is any form of online or offline rights management, and learn to advertise their products accordingly.
Drive charging.
So that's where I'm going to leave the Elite Dangerous no offline conversation. This stream and YouTube video, which then will become a YouTube video, is going to continue at least until I get to where I can get rid of this gold and make some money.
Drive charging.
And my cat's turning off sections of my computer. Okay, so we're going to jump to here. We're going to go to Aranon. I'm fairly certain that we can actually, that there is a black market at Aranon, but I'm not certain. I do know there is a black market at Ibutus. Screw it, we'll go to Ibutus. How do I know there's one there? Because you sell,
Drive charging.
look at that. Let's go see if we can't get into Ibutus. Get rid of this gold.
3, 2, 1, engage. Request granted. Scan detected. Shields offline. Rigged for silent running. Silent running off.
This station operates.
Oh,
Ensure you know authorization before attempting to disarm.
Shields online. Landing gear deployed.
where the heck is pad 32? There it is.
The access road is designated a no-stop zone. Blockages may be reducing vehicle force.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Okay, there's no black market here. I could have sworn there was a black market here. Hmm. Screw it. We'll take the coffee and we'll go to Freeport. Why? Because Freeport, Freeport actually has, is an anarchy system. It should have,
Landing gear retracted.
should allow us to get rid of it.
Drive charging.
I should also note this will be my last stream for Premium Beta. Stream 3.9. No, I shouldn't even say Premium Beta, pre-release. So the next one that will be streamed will be after the 22nd. And it will not be on the 22nd like normal. Because I have a birthday party I will be at for my nephew.
Request granted. Landing gear deployed. Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
So, that's where we're going to leave it. We will have a quick look. If we purchased, this is 1,442, we would get back over 1 million credits worth. So our current net value is worth about apparently 1,236,000 credits. It's not too bad. Anyway, my name's Rob. Thank you for watching or listening. I will see you later.